AV SuperFriends on Topic is an independent production wholly owned and operated by AV SuperFriends, LLC. For the highest quality recording of all of our shows, visit avsuperfriends.com.
You're listening to AV SuperFriends on Topic, which is good news. You clearly have taste, judgment, and at least one functioning professional instinct. But if you're not also listening to Off the Rails, you're only getting the neatly folded, meeting-safe version of the AV SuperFriends experience. There is so much more nonsense-adjacent insight waiting for you. In the last two episodes, Off the Rails wandered through NAB, Blackmagic, BirdDog, NDI, Dante AVH, Production AV creeping into classrooms, Biamp's 50th anniversary, Clear One Gear getting new labels, anechoic chamber weirdness, electric Hummers, and mobile studio carts that look like Johnny Five got hired by marketing. Then the cloud caught fire, because apparently hosted does not mean magically immune to consequences. We talked Canvas, local AI, media studios, lectern microphones, Dante headphone amps, and why every campus technology plan eventually becomes one long group therapy session with better cabling. So yes, keep listening to On Topic. It's focused, it's useful, it occasionally behaves itself. But Off the Rails is where the side quests live, and frankly, that's where half the good stuff happens. Go subscribe at avsuperfriends.com before someone else gets the joke before you do.
This is AV SuperFriends on Topic, a 30-minute monthly roundtable focused on a single topic. This discussion will be opinionated, to the point, and saturated with our well-known blend of painfully won expertise and deeply ingrained immaturity. For June 2026, yes, I said June, deal with it. It's the best sounding and most project-focused podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends on Topic, episode number 72. Broadcasting live from somewhere between the kickoff meeting and that change order that nobody approved, where every task is the critical path, every deadline is aspirational, and every stakeholder just has one last real quick question. From the punch list of the parking lot, from scoped creep to substantial completion, I'm Chris Dechter. You're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure with the AV SuperFriends. And let's say hello to that panel. Move my buttons here.
You got
Our first panel, nabbit, misfire.
Get it.
There it goes. Our first panelist ensures every small change is logged, priced, delayed, and quietly hated by everyone involved. He's a manager of scope creep containment from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
Basically, project antivirus.
It's
Nice.
Sounds like a
Okay. Good one.
difficult task.
Our next panelist specializes in scheduling meetings with people who have strong opinions but no calendar availability. He's an assistant project manager for unavailable stakeholders from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Kolozinski.
I'll have to get back to you on that. I just can't fit it in my schedule right now.
Could you send an updated doodle?
I'll give you a poll. You just check a couple times. It might work for you.
My calendar's
I'm
up
gonna
to date.
be out. I'm going to be out. What calendar? What?
It's up to date.
It's just not visible.
No.
Our next panelist excavates ancient PDFs, half-approved drawings, and mysterious equipment lists from email threads dating back 3 fiscal years. He's a lead coordinator of submittal archaeology from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling.
This isn't correct. Like, this says 3 fiscal years. I spent the entire day messing with a 10-year-old Biamp system. Or
That's
10-year-old.
practically new.
Oh, yeah.
I think every Biamp system on the planet is 10 years old.
I'm saying.
It's the ain't ship and new
You're like a
stuff.
fine wine.
And our final panelist oversees the ceremonial transition from "we've got plenty of time" to "why is that equipment rack still back ordered?" He's a vice president of Milestone Base Panic from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
No panic. It's all good. Sounds like a company. Milestone Panic. Maybe like a band from the 80s.
That is a good.
I
At
could
one
see
point,
that.
there was a company named Milestone. Actually, there's multiple companies. Milestones, they do security
Yeah, I
stuff. There
know.
used to be Milestone who owned Chief, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Atlantic, something like that,
Yeah,
like 15
something-
You know, the
years
parent company of all that used to own all the railroads in Chicago.
Really?
They got all the money.
Chicago
Something
Railroad
like
Company.
that, yeah.
And all of those things went extinct at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was all owned by the Spaghetti Factory.
Yes. Actually, not to be confused with the old spaghetti factory. They were the
The new
original.
one.
The new
Yeah.
one. Yeah, across the street.
New one.
They
Yes,
split up.
exactly.
No panic. Everything's good.
So on today's
No
show,
worries.
if you haven't guessed already, on today's show, we're going to discuss how we start our projects and also how our projects actually start. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. So if you're listening to this as a recorded, those are two different things. If you're listening to this as a recorded MP3, we stream live on Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific, or whenever Larry finally clears the last unresolved punch list item from his calendar.
When he shows up.
I didn't say that. You can
That was
join
the
us
first
live
one
on
here.
Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, where the schedule is aspirational, the scope is poorly defined, and somehow we still hit substantial completion every week. If you can't join us live, connect with us on the socials. You can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and YouTube for updates, arguments, and change orders disguised as content. Please share the show with your friends, colleagues, enemies, stakeholders, steering committees, procurement officers, and that one person who keeps asking, can't we just use the existing projector? Despite the existing projector having now achieved legal drinking age. If you want to... By the way, I had one of those the other day. If you want to support the show, please consider donating. Your contributions help us keep producing the honest content that you love or that you love to hate without having to submit a capital project request, defend it to 3 committees, rescope it twice, and then find out the funding expired last fiscal year. As always, we do want to hear from you. Please send your questions, comments, bad bid specs, mysterious alternates, cursed timelines, and project plans that somehow have install begins Monday before equipment ordered to mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. We believe every successful AV project starts with clear communication, realistic expectations, and then immediately ignored both because somebody discovered the room has asbestos, no conduit, and a dean with specific opinions. Thanks for your support. We couldn't do this show without you.
And
Well, we
plaster
could,
walls.
but we don't want to.
All those plaster walls.
And now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to calm down for a moment. We're going to pause. We're going to take a step back. Time for some quiet contemplation. I've got a bunch of these folks, so deal with it.
And now, Quiet Contemplations by Miles Dante.
Sometimes I wonder if active learning classroom just means the students are actively learning how many ways a display can say no signal before the instructor gives up and uses the whiteboard.
Freaking true.
It's not wrong.
No. Well, none of them are. That's the whole thing.
My favorite is when you get those support requests from a active learning classroom because one of the 7 displays isn't working. The other 6 are fine.
Yeah.
By the time you got there, it's working, and they're like, "Well, now this one's being a little bit weird, but it can't. It doesn't. It's not doing it right now. I swear it was doing it before you got here."
So is this a emergency hurry up and get here, or is this, hey, we just letting you know this one display's out?
Justin, every support request is an emergency hurry up and get
Yeah.
here.
Yes. SLAs, man.
It's
Get in
even
the
my
helicopter
favorite
and
when it turns out to be
down in here.
the
Not
janky
every-
laptop they have. The port's broken.
This
This
adapter
is part
that
of
I
my
bought
class.
3 years ago.
Everything's an emergency. Nothing's an
Nothing is.
emergency.
I get it. I share the sentiment. However, nobody else does.
All righty. Well, let's get into our topic. But first,
Let's get into it.
Topic of the month. Stay on topic.
We have to change that song
why?
Do we?
because now there's 2 on topics every month. That's
You're right. The
yeah.
topic of the show?
One
Yes.
of the topics of the month.
One of
gonna
the
cost
topics
us
of the
more
month?
money.
Yes. Yeah. I hire that band again. Fucking guys that show
Milestone
up.
Panic. Yeah, get them in here. Get this done.
Milestone Panic.
Milestone Panic's a great name for a band.
I think I like it.
Actually, Justin said it was Milestone Based Panic, but
Oh,
Milestone
well.
Panic is a good name.
I like
Not
Milestone
nearly
Panic
as
now.
good. Yeah.
All right.
Kinda
So,
rolls right off the
I don't
tongue.
remember who brought this topic up, but we're going to talk
Mark.
generically about how our projects
Yeah.
start and where our projects start and how we actually start a project and all that fun stuff. Does that come from a support request? Is this something that's self-inflicted? Is it part of a replacement cycle? How
Yes.
are we starting?
All of those are valid vectors of this attack.
Does somebody
Yes.
bump into you in the hallway and say, "Oh, by the way"? My favorite is when they talk to somebody else in a different IT department, and that person
You
tries to
got that
start
note,
the project.
right? You got
first.
that note that I sent.
So,
by
oh
way
yeah,
of
2 weeks
carrier
ago, I was
pigeon?
talking to somebody about this. So, yeah.
Why don't we limit this down to being the outside of our control? How does a project start? If
Okay,
we
so
just
the not
show up,
self-inflicted.
right?
Okay.
Not the stuff that's on your spreadsheet that you're going to get to.
Yeah,
in
not
some orderly
the
fashion, not-
700 list long of going, oh, that's been broken for a while. It's my money, so I guess I should do it. No, this is somebody else is asking.
That's not a project, sir. That's break fix.
Oh,
No.
Justin, I
Okay,
would love
not
you to weigh in here.
self-inflicted.
Yes. How, if you were speaking whichever hat you would like to wear, your university hat or your integrator hat, because they may be different.
What, who you talking to?
To you,
Well, you're the only integrator.
I was going to say, so you're
I believe he
talking to
also
me?
started his sentence with Justin.
I
Is
did.
this directed towards me?
It is, yes. So how does it
Okay.
how does it start on your side?
A project?
I'm pretty sure
for
that's topic, yeah.
WKU.
Yes.
I can't call them projects, but yes.
I wanted to
We're
be
gonna get
clear
there
on that.
too. Yes.
So this can happen a few different ways. So we have a project intake request on our webpage that feeds into Team Dynamics. That's
That
what we
seems
want
controlled
everybody.
to me.
That's what we want everybody to use. However,
Yeah, give me the percentage. How many of your projects actually take that path?
Yeah, how many
I
fill
don't
out that
know.
form?
I actually don't know. We probably have metrics on that. I should have been more prepared with data on this, but I'm going to guess.
We'll go with 7.
I
Anecdotally,
would
just
say
just give me
30%,
30%.
40%. Maybe
Okay.
it's 60. I would
Wow.
guess lower.
That's big.
Yeah,
a
but
big
it's
delta.
everybody uses Team Dynamics now across campus for different things, so it's kind of like seeped into
And
the
project
ecosystem.
management is one of those things they use it for.
Kind of, yeah. TD is
We'll
not
get to
good at
that.
project management. That's what
Yeah,
we use.
Well, okay, yeah, okay. So,
So
We'll
that's
get to
our
that.
project management platform with our ticketing platform. So this kind of sets up the whole thing.
There's a good reason to do that.
Yeah, there is and there isn't.
Hmm.
I disagree with you, Chris. So we also have projects come in as a ticket because of how we work. So a ticket comes in saying our projector's broke. Okay, well, projector, we might need to do more than just the projector. So that automatically turns into a project because that's programming perhaps or whatever. A little bit of labor, things like that. So if a ticket comes in and then it directs to the support team and the support team can't figure it out, that's also a project because any ticket that gets escalated to the engineering team 99% of the time turns into a project.
there's an equation to this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when
Okay.
it's a support ticket, we always try to start with support tickets because IT's policy is, I don't know why. There's a few reasons why I know of, but not the whole.
Best IT governance is we don't really know why.
True, yeah, we don't
Come
really
get to it when
know
we get to it,
exactly why, but
and
we
we'll let you
charge
know when we're done.
labor for
Yeah.
projects, and we do not charge labor for support tickets.
I want to go back to this. Let's roll the tape back just a minute. You've led me to believe that maybe there's like this bucket or lump of an amount of work that constitutes project. If you guys
little
can
bit.
parachute in and like pull a lever, maybe tie an untied shoelace, find an unbuttoned thing, and fix it, it's not a project, right? That's just break, fix, business as usual.
If we have a spare on the shelf and we can swap that out, and
Up
that's
to
usually
what amount
support.
of work? How much can I get as like incident
So
response
it's-
before it spills into the
It's not
project?
physical labor only, it's mostly
Mental
based
labor?
upon knowledge labor. So like if
Knowledge
there's any DSP work, any programming work, anything that takes most things that take software configuration, the engineering group may try to like hurry up and fix it, or like the engineering group might go with the support team to work on it as a ticket and leave it there because we don't want to charge labor and we don't want to make this big project and all this crap to do. So we
We don't want
We
to
try to mitigate it by doing that.
Because there's more
You
work
know,
to that.
It's like there's more work to this shit. Let's Matt, just go with Ryan. These are real people.
Go see if you can figure it out.
Figure this
Find
out.
Pete,
And then
check with Tim,
if Matt or Eric or somebody comes back and is like,
Kip, Ned.
dude,
Mo?
this is a project. Like this is a lot of work. Then it's like we trust them. Like, yeah, we need to spin up a project. But if
So it
they
kinda-
solve
it
it,
evolves. So your direct subject matter expertise in its day-to-day operation, when something falls outside of that window of awareness, it becomes a project.
essentially, it's a lot of if this thing gets above the skill level of the support team, it is
Well,
likely
What
going
if
to
it gets
become a project.
behind the skill level of the current support team?
Behind that, what do you mean?
Why don't we train the support team?
We're
That would
working through-
solve a lot of.
We're
we're working through those things,
Gotcha.
brother.
All right.
Like that's a whole
Yeah.
other topic. Like
So
that's a
project-
training, buy-in, money, time thing. So that's
So-
I'm not.
So for
we're not.
you,
I
most
got
things
you.
are a project, and they originate through the TDX system.
I 99% of my work is only in projects. I don't touch tickets because I'm
Mhm.
whatever. So there's a lot of people before me. Like if it gets to me as a ticket, there's a lot of shit that went wrong.
Actually,
By the time it gets to tier 19,
Yeah, there's a lot of
There were some
things that have
problems.
gone wrong.
if I
I'm
have
in
a
there
ticket
working on a
assigned to
ticket.
me, it's a problem.
It's a
Yeah.
big like.
by the
if
way, I
Matt
remember
can't
once-
solve it. there's a likelihood that Matt and Justin are going to have to really we got to call
You're putting
outside
shoes on.
people
You're
and
putting shoes
call
on
in
and
the
we're coming into
troops.
campus. Yeah.
We are doing some serious shit. Something happened.
I'm having a hard time conjuring in my
rarely-
mind what is that threshold of serious shit that's going on in the classroom.
Yeah.
Well,
Generally, that means
so
there's
it's not
open
classrooms.
flame.
We do everything. So it could be like a press box in the stadium. So there's been some serious shit go down with.
Define that term there.
Let's see. What would
Is
be
that defined
something
as a
serious?
tier in Team Dynamics?
It's right above tier 5.
That's the SF.
Contact-
This
contact
is at a
vendor above
level
that.
that is.
Okay.
If it's beyond Matt, it's likely beyond me, and we're in trouble.
So is it?
I can't think
this seems
of-
more directly tied to run to fail and just respond as you go. That's
That's
kind of how you
our
catch
model
it. You
is.
move.
We don't have a
We
support,
show up and the fire has burned through all the fuel. It's time to pay for some money and get something.
and
new.
it's rough on the support team. Our support team has it really rough, man, because they're literally supporting MPS 100s right now, and they're just doing the best they can.
fine,
And all
man.
this stuff's old,
fine.
and when things get
It's not
old,
fine.
the support tickets go up, and it's a big problem.
Okay, I want to pivot because I want to swing this thing back. And
No.
I
We're
want to
talking
go.
about projects.
We are, yeah, but
And how they start.
I want to go to Larry's perspective here on projects.
Oh,
I
let's
feel
not.
like
Well, hold on.
you got
I have
more
a
on this?
different perspective of projects versus what I just told you. You asked me what we actually do.
You aspire to
That's
be
a
somewhere else,
different
but we're not
question.
there. Okay, well then let's reel it back to you. How would you have this to be, sir?
I would like a project to be something that requires infrastructure work and maybe a new build. Maybe it's a large building that we're refreshing 30 classrooms all at once, and that would be a project. Project could be designated maybe based upon money too, because we have that threshold with capital construction versus generic projects. There's a threshold of money there. So I mean, I would like to see some changes on how we define projects at our university.
Is that
But
projects that
because-
you're involved with, or just projects at the university? Because I've seen this go the other way for your university.
What
It
do you
can't be
mean-
a project and you not be involved.
Mhm.
A secret project.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So those are ran by facilities. So facilities can do projects. And
You have it in your
who
rider
knows
that
what happens with that.
you have it in your rider that when facility starts a project, they send you a lawn chair so you can set it up outside and watch.
The policy
With the green M&Ms.
in place is that when a facilities project starts and there is any IT scope at all, they are to do a project request form to IT immediately.
Is that one of the
That
30% ones?
is
Those ones?
that is not always
It's not how it goes.
happening. College of Business.
Gotcha.
We won't name names.
COB.
Here comes that
That's what
dinner.
we're doing. That's what we're doing June 8th through the 12th, right before I go to InfoCon.
Okay, so
Getting steak dinners?
So
No.
you have a new project.
We have
How
a new
did that
project.
Yeah.
And we are going into room 1045, and
Yeah.
we're going to gut that sumbitch, and we're going to rebuild it. And
With all the
that's
same
now
stuff.
our one room that we support in College of Business, and it's going exactly like I thought it would.
Okay.
And we have an
That-
approved project
That's
As
a
of
tomorrow. That's a tomorrow
today.
conversation.
As
for
of
sure.
today, that happened
Literally
yesterday.
next week, you guys will be conversing about this.
Yes, it'll come back
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I'm
Share
just, a lot of curiosity. Larry, you have a pretty good cadence, but we're not really talking about those ones. So I'm kind of curious about because I want you to say something, but I don't know if you're going to say it. So
Do you want him to talk about his project management cult? Is that what
No,
you
he
want
wants me to
about?
talk service now language, I think,
no, I want to.
Tell me about epics.
I want
and
you-
stories.
I really
and-
want to believe that you have like X amount of tickets equates to its time for a project. I really want that to be where you are, but I don't know if that's where you are.
I'm not, because there's a lot of, and I wouldn't call it a project either way. There would be a lot of paperwork involved in that. The only time I want to spend something up like what Justin's talking is if there's equipment involved and I have to actually purchase something. If that's the case, yeah,
Oh,
I'll
project for us. That's part of that. Yeah.
yeah,
I'll use project wrong.
yeah, it's not, and that's not what it is. I would spin up something for that. But other than that, like we're talking about requests or demands that come in from outside of my group.
Demands.
Or incidents.
Yes.
No incidents cannot
Or
technically
problem.
spin one of these up.
That's different. An incident can be resolved
Yes.
without it being a project.
And an incident, it will be resolved and open up a problem if the resolution doesn't actually fix it. It's just,
As long as you're within the SLA.
yeah, exactly.
Incident problem resolution.
I hate all this shit.
But yeah, like
Task project scope.
All right. So how does a normal, not instigated by Larry project begin? Or how do
most
you-
of them will come in as requests. We have a form on the website,
What
AV.
if I email you?
Then I will email you the form to fill out the
Correct.
request.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the correct
Like-
response.
That's
I
what
might
we do.
like if I run into you in the hallway, we might have a quick conversation. But
Here's the
before
link on my
anything
phone.
actually gets going, it's a request.
So is it
I
a
got a
project
question.
the moment it goes out though?
No.
Is there some gray area before
Yes.
like
I got a question for Larry and everybody. So
let's hear the question.
if your thing that you're doing, your project that you're doing requires power and facilities work, what is that entanglement? Because ours, if somebody comes to us and says, hey, we're going to do this thing, and we right away identify that it's going to be we need new power, we need a hire electrician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most of the time we tell them to fill out a project request form with facilities first. They get that information and then they bring us in right away.
No. No, I think I will meet and do all that stuff and then say, hey, by the way, there's going to be some power, some additional work. And I will say, if you would like, I could put that request in and provide some details for them if you have your indexing
Oh,
on
they
or something
hate
like
that.
So
Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't like it, but I'll do it.
Pause that, Mark. So when
Yeah.
you say we'll put that request in for you,
Mhm.
does that mean the client has to pay two inter accounts to two different people, or does the money flow through one inter account to make it
Sometimes.
easier on the client?
Sometimes it can be.
It's an index.
Because that's why we do it with facilities, so that we only have one account number for the whole project, no matter who's doing what.
That's a work
To
order.
go through.
I kind of don't care about that. Like at the end of the day, like
The
it's
client does.
well, sure, but fundamentally the department. My take is we shouldn't be putting additional burden on them to get what they're asking for accomplished. If we can carry that
That's my
and
point.
Sherpa that through, then we will do that.
That's
Like,
why we do one request.
Yeah, but you're saying, oh, I can't talk to you yet. You have to talk to these people first.
No, you could talk to me. You just the formality of it, just like Larry. Please
It's
go
not a real
fill out the
conversation
form.
yet.
There's no difference than what I said versus what Larry said, but your response was different. We want you to go fill out the proper form.
Yeah, but we won't do anything until that form is filled out.
Correct.
You say only 30% of yours go that way.
I thought I heard that
Whoa,
you
whoa,
are
whoa,
coming
no,
in.
no, 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 that is not what I
No,
said.
no.
That is absolutely not what I said.
That's how
All
they.
projects go into the formality of becoming a project through TD. We have an informal form that's just a web page. We have 4 or 5 methods of approved ways of submitting projects online
Yeah.
right here.
Well, I had thought
I'm
you
curious
heard
about the
it.
fact you have 4 or 5 ways for submitting approved projects.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I thought you meant
Well, project's
show
not
up with your-
approved until we get the inter account number. A project is just, that's not approval. That's different. How do you have an approval before you
with
even come up
I'm
with
with
the
you on the
cost?
sentiment of that take, but so I want to get 100% clarity. You said I meet with somebody, and it turns
No.
out
I was going back to running into someone in the hallway. By the way,
Yes.
I need to talk to you about this project we're doing. Great. Go fill out that form.
Okay.
We'll have the meeting eventually.
But you had mentioned you show up and there's power and you need blah blah blah, and that's going to be involve.
Well, I haven't
electrical.
showed up anywhere yet. That hasn't happened.
Shit, I'm lost. Okay, did I mishear this?
I need a
then?
flow chart.
Yeah, and so this is we're in the hall at our lockers. We're getting our stuff out, and we're having a conversation around. Wouldn't it be lovely if blah 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 hall 122 had new active learning room in it? And you're going to say, that's probably going to require a lot of power, Chuck. Why don't you put a ticket in with facilities, and we'll come in on that work order? Is that what you kind of told me?
Essentially, if that comes up in some kind of conversation, and if it's low amount of power and low amount of work, or just, I just need one outlet, we have a mechanism now that just happened within the past year or so that we IT can hire that approved electrician that's contracted on campus. Our facilities doesn't do power. They don't do new installs. They repair things. Facilities hires contractors to put in new power, right? So we always have to deal with contractors. Who's hiring it? Facilities or IT? The scope is massive.
That is
All right,
different.
Facilities needs to run this because there's also furniture in it, and there's this and there's that. So it depends on the scope of who runs what.
That's definitely different than ours.
Yes.
Like this is just facilities wise. Like our state requires a state employee to inspect the electrician, even if it's contracted out. So they have to deal with all of that.
Electrician or inspect the electrician's work?
Inspect the electrician's work.
Sir,
Damn it.
You're not
While they're
tall enough
doing
to
it.
be working here.
we're gonna have
But
to
yeah,
check your
like-
pipes.
But yeah, like we
that
are not
doesn't
allowed
happen
to
here.
just outsource on our own. It has to go through
It's got to go through
facilities.
We have every cable that we pull, and even if we hire an electrician, all has to be inspected by the state every time. So what happens is every project that we do, we get a list, and the state inspector comes once a month and goes through it all and is like, yeah, you're good, and then moves on. So it's not inspected by internal people. And that's per the state. Every Cat 6 we pull in does that.
It seems complicated and very dangerous to try to get a project off the ground where you maybe, but maybe not. I just
It's not hard to get it off the ground. It's hard to get it approved.
I like it. Share a little bit. I think a lot of these non-scheduled, on the refresh cycle things often start as emails. Hey, we're thinking about this. And blah, blah, blah. Who can we talk about? And I say, here is my bookings link. I will gladly meet you in that space. Set up a time that works for you. Do not ask me my availability. The worst thing you could do is, but no. Fill out the bookings link. I will meet you and we will discuss what your dream may be. From there, I will then provide you a proposal. And then if approved with an index on a standard form, we will then bring that into a project. It is not even started as a project.
Before that?
A consultation.
Is it logged in your Team Dynamics, whatever?
A ticket is created and a consultation link is then sent.
Is it a ticket in that case?
It is a request. It is I need something request.
Yeah.
I am then following up, and then they have the consultation. It is closed. Once I have provided that consultation, I am closing that ticket. They have the bookings link. It is done. The ball is
we
now
have
in their
that.
court.
We have that project like queue, and then once it's designated on what department in IT is going to be responsible and the meeting set up and kind of similar to Mark, then it drops into the AV queue and it's a real project and whatever. So
And then from there, we're not dealing with that project in any Team Dynamics. We're not dealing with that project in ServiceNow. None of that is going to be involved.
Secret.
So what do you use for your ticketing and your projects then? What software?
For what?
And tickets in your projects.
Tickets and projects?
Yeah. What software do you use?
ServiceNow is tickets. That's response. That is ITSM. That is not projects.
It's not in there. You're not doing epics and stories and all that with them.
No.
So you have two separate softwares to handle tickets and then
Justin,
projects.
you think there's going to be some sort of second piece of software? Spoiler.
There's no software.
Planner. Microsoft Planner
How are you
becomes
tracking projects? Just an Excel sheet?
Planner.
Whiteboard on Don's wall. I've seen
There's that too.
Have you ever erased it?
Planners and Microsoft Project is the primary method. Project.
By the way, Microsoft Project is going end of life, so get the hell off of that.
That's why it's all going to Planner.
Planner?
Planners
What's a planner?
sucks, so you
It
should
does.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
We're changing everything right now, so this is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Anyone out there listening, if you're not already in, or if you're not already committed to like the SharePoint project planner, Teams, whatever workflow, do not start down that road, because what you will find is at a certain point, certain people can see certain tasks and other people can't, and it's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah.
It's frustrating. And then like we started down that pathway, and then one of Microsoft's updates stripped all of our templates out of the Teams channels and says, we don't do file structure like that anymore. Not in SharePoint, not in Teams. And so it just stripped the whole file structures out. Files still there. You can still find them, but they're not where they used to be.
This took a lot of intentional architecting to get this
Oh, I know. I know.
to get it so it does
Jamie and I have had calls offline about this, like trying to structure this. And it's luckily it started falling apart for me a couple of months in, and so I was able to all right, bail out. So
we've come from a long way. We had a lot of success with smart sheets. We were doing a lot in smart sheets. It was great, but university want to simplify. Microsoft First Strategy, and I get it. And so we've been able to make planner work for a lot of this stuff. Now, is it the whiz-bangy project management software deluxe royale platform with cheese? No, it is not. I don't need that. That is not what we're doing day in and day out.
No, you just need bacon.
I found some words I'm going to share with you all.
But
what is a project? Right from our webpage. And this, I don't think we definitely don't.
If you guys don't talk about projects having a defined beginning and end, if they don't have a defined scope to address a specific goal,
check this out.
If they don't have stakeholders and funding involved, that ain't no project.
It's not a project.
So,
right, exactly.
Number one, it exceeds a time of 60 labor hours.
That's not a project.
Nah.
Whose perspective is this now?
I spent that long just delaying any work on it.
We'll have a scope. We'll have a scope that spans multiple areas of ITS, has complex accounting needs, and an initiative deemed by ITS leadership as needing project level tracking and coordination. Project examples: technology responsibilities on construction or renovations. Blah 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 blah. So it lists all these examples.
None of those four things that you listed would qualify in any way, shape, or form as defining a project.
It does in ServiceNow.
I'm just
like a project now has to span multiple groups.
But I think, Chris, what you're representing is like the known stuff, and that's a very lovely vision of the world.
If you're going to play the project definition game, then use the ones that are out
exactly.
there. So,
if we're going to play that game, but I think that this. To start the story was like, how do we deal with all the blindsided things that come in, and how do we on-ramp these things?
We run multiple projects where it only involves AVS, the AV department. Yeah, so I know that some of these things are not 100% true all the time.
Like I said, those four things that you listed there as this is what a project is. No, that's somebody else's way they think about them.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I'm in the midst of trying to change how our spin up cycle works, the kind of the culture around how we spin up. Sorry, these Jamie, projects. So some of this is kind of interesting, and then it also is kind of telling of where we're going to head. Just over a year ago, we started Team Dynamics, and like Chris and I said earlier, it was like I was trying to use Teams a lot in order to.
It has a lot of promise at the outset.
Yes, and so for everyday tasks, for the internal
tasks, that's it.
For the internal self-inflicted harm work, it's fine. I'm beginning to do. We get requests every which way from Sunday, right? Email, text, Teams message, phone call, conversation in the hallway, carrier pigeons, that kind of thing. And so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll have that initial conversation about, okay, what are you trying to do here? Is it a trouble ticket or is it something more? And then what we're going to start doing is TDX. We now have access to their actual project portfolio software. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we just set that up. I was going to talk about that in a minute. So continue.
Yeah, so we're lighting that up, and I'm going to start using it because you can jump from one to the other. So you can have an incident that can turn into a project, or reverse. You have a project that requires an incident, something or a request.
You have an issue in a project that derived from an incident.
Correct.
But you can jump in and out and make that happen. And so now we're just now starting down this path. But what we've done is, what was happening was we would lose some of this work in that direct communication path, the Teams message or an email. Somebody
Good
gets
luck
left
finding
off.
anything in Teams is more than 6 hours old.
And so
tough.
What we're starting to do is, even on any incident, all communication goes through the ticket. We want to drive everybody to a ticket.
That's just best practice in ITIL.
It is. But it's not the only way we did it, right? And so that's what we're starting to do as far as incident requests. And now we're going to start doing the same thing with projects. And the nice thing about the TDX project thing is it comes with a dashboard that was very similar to what you were using with Smartsheets. And now the owner of the client can own their own status updates by checking in with this. What we've started doing is that even if somebody sends me, we have a quick consultation, I will open up that project request ticket on their behalf, put their name in there, their email address in there. That way it looks like they originated it. And by me, I mean somebody in my staff, because I don't do anything. I delegate that. That's menial tasks. But I just approve.
Sure.
So that's what we're going to start doing in order to drive things through that. And it also keeps a better track of some of the data that goes with it. Now, there are some issues here, right? Is that people aren't used we have to change a culture habit. Go to the ticket system.
And it's the hardest part.
About the time we get figured out, we're going to be in service now. So that's where we're headed. We all know this.
You got 5 years. Yeah. Or Salesforce, pick one. Yeah.
But I think, just the everyday project, whether it's a capital size project that maybe that request comes from CFM, or it's a departmental request that turns into a project. Let's go back to the discussion about if we need electricity. We'll even help the client fill out all the electrical forms. We'll be the main primary point of contact. However, and everybody's a little bit different, our budgeting and billing and financial structure wants the department to pay the facilities people directly. So basically, all we need is we set up all the communication. Like, here, copy and paste this into the thing. Give them your Mo code. They'll call us when they have a problem. We good? And most of the clients are okay with this.
I think that's a really changing slippery slope because I feel like a lot of what's being done is software management and communication management. You're not actually doing a lot of the stuff anymore. I think that's where you end up into this world where you find yourselves outsourcing all of the actual work, and we're just pushing paper around digitally. Is that we're overly focused on this project management platform and the communication platform, but we're not actually doing the delivery of said project anymore.
No,
we're coordinating a project, but we may not actually be doing it.
I don't. I see. We were losing part of the coordination and communication part. The work was getting done inefficiently and sometimes not good because of that. We missed some spots. So the software side of how does a project start? That was the question of the day. How does a project start? How do we handle that? Well, it used to just come rapid fire from wherever the hell it came from. And we're trying to streamline that into a way that we can make this software based to facilitate the rest of the work.
Yeah. It's and I think that's how all of these platforms come to be, right? We always every university wants to become more efficient. There's inefficiencies here. We got to get this. We got to get communication. We got a life cycle. It's the swirl, right? One leadership's version of success looks slightly different. Therefore, we got to embark on a new digital transformation, and we have to buy this new package. And it's a swirl. It happens.
Oh, I got a question. How long do you all leave a project open until you're like, all right, we got to close this down because we're not getting the approval?
Because it would never be open until it was approved to begin with.
Yeah, it's a request until
it's not a project approved.
Yeah, it's a request till it's approved.
Well, now, if you look at that link I posted, we have a bunch of projects that are on hold waiting for approval because it started as project.
No,
we requests.
That is something that's come up recently too. Is that a lot of times?
Justin, there's a bunch in here that are on hold approved. What's going on with that?
What's going on there?
That means that they're approved and nobody wants to do that shit.
What? Well,
what? It's like, we're going to put this on hold. This needs to wait. We don't have.
Yeah, that sounds like a Tuesday thing.
I think we give it about a semester. Like if we haven't heard anything.
Semester?
Right, yeah, that's three to 4 months. Boy. If we haven't heard anything. Because
look, a few weeks and it's based upon how many times we've contacted them and they're like not responsive and like go to their office.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you there? You still here?
I like how you guys are just going around campus offering people projects. Hey, you want to do a project?
No, we definitely don't do that. We don't want any more projects than what we've got.
Have a megaphone, you walk around campus?
Well, there's a thread there. I was curious about that. It sounds like there's a posture of like, we don't want to do more projects. Like you're trying to like keep projects from actually happening to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
As a cost containment and like a controlling the budget. Like we don't want projects. We just want to be an incident response, break fix, keep the status quo. Nobody spend anything. Hope for better times ahead.
There's very much
Are you singling out him?
Yeah, because that's not like
just like no. That doesn't tell our story at all.
No, but that's what the vibe I get out of the Western Kentucky thing is like we're just trying. We don't look at that project in the face.
There's a big stress,
more stress
on service and tickets than there is on projects.
Once it's on the second sheet, we've made it.
Look, but we all have those ones where like I don't really want to think about that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got.
I currently have one that's only a request. I've not even started the project side of it yet, but it's a request to make a room worse. I'm like, no.
So that's on hold but approved, Chris.
It's not approved.
I believe you should take that one on immediately.
Come on, Chris. Embrace the Alcam.
No.
Do it.
It involves height adjustable displays in a place where they don't need to be height adjustable.
Boy.
Now by doing that, now using those balance box, those cool mounts. Ooh. By doing that, now they stand farther off the wall, which means I need ADA stuff, which means it becomes a whole thing. And it's like, leave the room alone. It works now. It's fine. Do this one little request, which now blows up into this giant. You made this whole room.
Balance boxes are fun.
Big project.
I got a balance box with 122
a cable at some point with balance.
That's the thing. And you have it'll crunch your fingers. It'll smash someone in the elbow. It'll cut a bunch of cable. It's
they're
like,
cool.
You're just making this worse.
They're super cool. Like
I'm glad that's a product that exists.
Definitely check them out.
But yeah, it's just very strange. Okay. We're way over time. I'm gonna have to roll this one out. I just want to say, for those of you looking for a project management platform, and you've heard most of us already talk about it, look in your current ITSM software of choice.
If you have a software,
because in a lot of cases, and we're doing the same thing, the newest version of Team Dynamics as of last fall, the project module was dramatically rewritten and much more capable. You can get all your Gantt charts, and you can get all your work breakdown structures. You can get all. It
doesn't necessarily always come for free with your current licensing structure.
Correct. May or may not.
That's also the larger issue.
And check your licenses, because even if you have 20 seats, those seats may not include access to it. Anyway, that's all a minor accounting problem. What we ran into is the same thing many of you all talked about, is there's often a need for, once it becomes a project, it ties back to a ticket request at some point, or maybe there's accounting stuff involved, and some of those things, they all touch Team Dynamics, at least for us, at some point. So it made sense to build it in that platform, even though it's not the ideal end-all be-all whiz-bang, whatever Mark said, bells and whistles system.
Royale with cheese.
Correct.
Royale with cheese. If it can get me 75% of the way there in a system that we already use, it's great. I will say one problem, and this is common amongst many of these systems.
You need to keep this stuff under one umbrella if you can.
The mobile access sucks. So
ServiceNow, same way.
Good luck getting your student workers or your technicians to enter updates. They will simply send you stuff in Teams that you then have to go enter into it because it's a pain in the butt. So
Okay.
Any last thoughts on projects? Because we didn't really answer.
I think that was an incident.
I don't do projects. I do stories and epics. I don't know what you are talking about.
That is a topic for another time. The epic thing I do want to get into, but not today.
We should do one like on ITSM in general, like ITSM and ITIL, and let's talk about it.
We will be so wrong about so many things, and people will die on so many hills.
Yelling right
now.
Sounds
boring.
It does sound boring.
You're gonna have to put in a project request.
We're gonna lose listeners.
Entrenched.
All right. Well,
let's be a ticket on that, Mark.
Thanks for putting up with yet another episode of AV SuperFriends On Topic. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.